who we're opening up on.
She don't know who's that. No,
She doesn't know
I
yet?
got Janae, she's my
Okay.
target.
So, and I'm going to open the
Yeah.
show, so,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna open you up on the middle camera.
The middle camera, okay.
And then if you keep talking, she'll send
So
you.
over to there, okay. Okay.
Wow. Hey, no fighting in there.
Hello, and welcome to the Lafayette Parish Master Gardeners monthly program in the garden. And this is December, and we're in the garden with Janae Foley, our other Master Gardener hostess. And we're going to talk about wonderful gifts that you can give to people this year for Christmas, for the holidays, and into the next year, into the early New Year's, to get everybody fired up about gardening.
And we also admit, quite frankly, that many of these things we would like to have for ourselves. So families and friends can hint. You know, that's the wonderful thing about this program. You know, if your friend falls in love with something, you know, give her family a call and say, look, she really liked this. You know, help them do their holiday shopping. And we have such an amazing assortment of things to choose from. And of course, one of the things that symbolizes this time of year are the beautiful poinsettias.
Yes, poinsettias, and we're just going to give you a little bit of historical information about them. Everybody's familiar with this beautiful red flower that we have. This poinsettia was brought to the United States in 1828 by Joel Roberts Poinsett, who was the first U.S. ambassador to Mexico. He fell in love with the plant, took cuttings, and brought them back to the United States, to Charleston, South Carolina, where he lived, and then propagated it for the United States for the people to enjoy these beautiful, colorful flowers all winter long. It's a fascinating story, and each year in the United States, we sell $250 million worth of poinsettias, so that's an amazing amount of money on one plant.
And is the Burden Center having a sale?
Yes, as a matter of fact, this Friday, December 5th, from 8 to noon on the Burden Center in Baton Rouge, that's on Essen Lane, you can Google it, it's the LSU Ag Center, over 1,000 different poinsettias for sale. So if you're looking for a really good product, it's going to be between $8 and $12 a piece. I definitely hop in the car and make my way over to Baton Rouge.
And they usually have some unique varieties. It's interesting to see what they're experimenting and researching with every
We're really
year.
lucky in Louisiana because that is one of their projects, is to develop poinsettias for commercial sales. So we benefit from that. So as you can see, this is a beautiful red poinsettia, and I just want to point out a few things about when you're going to buy these plants. Most importantly is the cyathea, and that's the actual flower of this plant. It's the little tiny green and red spots in the center, those little dots. That's the actual flower cluster. Around that are bracts. Those are modified leaves, the big, beautiful red colors that you see there. But when you buy these, it's really important to look for the ones that have a lot of green and a little bit of red, not much yellow. Once you see a lot of yellow, that's the pollen. The plant has matured. You're not going to get as long of a life out of it. So you want to shoot for something that has a tight little bud, mostly green with a tip of red. Also, you want to make sure most of your bracts are showing bright color, like this beautiful plant here. You want to make sure if you buy it with foil on it or any kind of paper cover, take that off immediately, or cut holes in the bottom of it. You will drown these plants. They love to be well drained. They do not like to be dry, however. They need to stay rather moist. They like a sunny location, and they cannot take below 50 degrees. So if you've got it outside and it's below 50 degrees, you'll lose your plant. Bring it inside, put it outside the next day.
They are tropical. And also, if you're purchasing a plant with the sleeve on it, leave the sleeve on it to transport it home.
Yes.
Because as all of you who have broken stems off know, they're a very, very brittle plant.
They are a brittle plant, but they are a beautiful plant. You want to try to look for as many. I'm glad you mentioned stems.
Mm-hmm.
You want a multiple stem plant when you purchase it, and you want to make sure those leaves are all the way down to the bottom of those stems. Also, another point that was made is to have something that's at least twice the size of the pot. So if your pot's 8 inches high, you want a 16-inch plant to really give it a pretty show and a balance to it. So there's a lot of places you can purchase these. This plant came from a nursery in Broussard that actually grows their own poinsettias and do a fabulous job, in my opinion, especially producing a good product. So.
And another product, a live product, is a wreath that is right next to the poinsettia. A lot of people like the fresh wreaths for Christmas. And then we also have, you know, on the live line, maybe we can talk about our live plants first. A wonderful Christmas gift is a live citrus plant. And they're available locally. They are many varieties. You know, do your homework, especially if it's a gift. Maybe sort of find out what the person would really like to receive, or a gift certificate is always nice, and they can do their own shopping. But the Meyer lemons and the oranges, there are many varieties. You can go to the LSU Ag Center website
to find the best
and
ones. I was going to suggest that. Yes.
Find the varieties that are recommended for
this area. We know that Myers and Myers Improved are both lemons that can do very well in our area. They manage to take our temperatures down to our coldest. And also on the citrus, the Washington Navel is a fantastic citrus. If you can find one of those, that's a great big producer. It'll have a navel in, and it's a very sweet and delicious orange. And also the Miwa and Oahu kumquats can definitely take our cold. Those are great plants to give too if you want to give a citrus plant to someone.
And the Awari satsumas, of course, they're bearing now. So any of your edibles are wonderful gifts. And I see that you brought a calendar.
Yes, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about your amaryllis.
Well,
okay, we'll get to that side. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, another few things that we recommend from the Master Gardeners is something that we produce ourselves, and that's our 2015 Lawn and Garden Calendar. It's produced by the LSU Ag Center. It has beautiful pictures inside that are taken by Master Gardeners, and it gives detailed information about what to do that month in your garden. So it's a nice, inexpensive gift. It's $12. You can pick this up at the LSU Ag Center, and it's a great gift to give teachers or neighbors. It's a useful gift, and it's a pretty gift, and that's at our extension office located at 1010 Lafayette Street, Suite 325. They're $12. So
and most Master Gardeners can get some for you too. If you have a neighbor or a friend who's a Master Gardener, check with them.
And they can pick them up for you.
Right.
We also recommend several books that for different levels of gardening. This is one of my favorite. It's Dan Gill's Month by Month in Louisiana Garden. This book I use regularly, but it's also a great beginner's book because it's divided by topic: lawns, herbs, perennials, vegetables. So you can go each month, if you want to know something about vegetables, you can go to that particular category, look in that month, and he'll tell you what to do. And it's not an expensive book. You can find it at a local bookstore, and it's very handy and very useful.
There are any number of books. As we have time, we'll discuss a few more books. And of course, any gardener would love a pot. This is a unique pot that I've just recently purchased. I'm going to be playing with it. It has little planting holes, and what I would like to do is put one of the Mare de Bois strawberries, or several of them, in here and make a hanging strawberry basket. The Mare de Bois are a little hybrid strawberry. They were one of the first plant patents issued, and they've just gone off of patent, so they're going to become very much more reasonably priced. They used to be about $5 a plant, and the price is just plummeting daily. It's a little smaller strawberry, but the taste is wonderful. So this is going to be a fun project. In hanging baskets, the larger the better, because your soil is going to retain moisture and you're going to have to do less watering. And another wonderful pot are the composite pots that you can get at any of the local discount stores or gardening centers. And as we get older, we're more and more inclined to work with these lighter weight pots as opposed to the heavy pottery pots. You know, I can pick this up and fling it in a car easily. I can, even when it's fully loaded with potting soil and a plant, I can slip a little dolly under it and move it all over the yard. So many people will appreciate these plants. And the same thing, the larger your body of potting soil in our, you know, Louisiana summers, the less you're going to have to water. You want a large mass of potting soil so that you're not having to water things twice a day.
Just kind of a little quick tip on that. As you're getting ready to put up your summer things, if you have some noodles for your pool that you're not using anymore, hang on to those, because you can cut those up and use those at the bottom of your pots for drainage. And they're fantastic because they're very light. You can use them in hanging baskets or your big containers. They allow for drainage and they don't add any weight.
Now, and notice too, that was a really good point. I drilled holes in this one because many of these pots are made to be used with a liner. They're decorative. If you want to use it to plant in, be sure and drill holes on the side of the pot, not the bottom. If you drill holes on the bottom, it's going to have a tendency to clog up much quicker than those large holes on the side.
That's a great point.
And while I'm right here, I will also mention this cute little plant, because it's always fun to surprise a gardener with a new variety of plant. And this is a trailing pansy that I purchased locally. It's just starting to flop over the sides of the pot, but it's called Free Fall, and it's going to be 12 inches by 12 inches when it matures. So that's just a unique little plant.
That's a hanging basket that can take our cold.
Right.
Which,
right.
you know, at this time of year, it's a little difficult to find outside decorative plants that you can put into containers or hanging baskets that can handle cold spells without having to be moved. That would do fine.
Right. Now, and also most gardeners enjoy receiving a lovely amaryllis.
That's a beautiful one. I'm sorry I jumped the gun a while ago, but I love it. It's awesome.
Well, and these, you can purchase the plants, just the bulbs. They are rooted. You do not want to remove the roots. Look dead. They are not. You plant the plant, even with those fibrous roots that look all shriveled up. You do not want to put them in a pot. They like to be snuggled in a pot, so you don't want to put them in a large pot. And you need a heavy pot. This is a situation where you do want the weight of crockery.
Because it'll pull it over.
They will pull it over.
The bloom themselves.
The blooms themselves get to be, 24, 36 inches. Many of them have multiple stalks, and they will actually start pulling themselves. I'll probably later put a bamboo stake in this
to hold it up. And should I maybe point out to them also how high we have to plant these amaryllis?
Good point. Good point. You can just...
Well, you have to plant them. If you can see how high this is about almost half this bulb is outside of this pot. Very, very important that you have that neck and at least a good third of that bulb exposed, and you have really good drainage, because these bulbs will rot. That's the point of letting them have all that exposure, is to keep them dry and up there. The growth is not occurring, and the nutrients are not occurring from the soil. They're coming from the bulb itself. The soil's there to, yes, keep the roots moist and provide water, but the real nutrients that's growing this particular flower this year is coming from inside, stored energy in that bulb.
And these are amazing plants, really. Children love these. You can literally see these plants growing. It's a great gift for a child who's a budding gardener, because it's quick. They don't have to have a lot of patience, and to see them unfurl and to imagine that all of this glory came from that little bulb is truly amazing. Now, after the plant finishes, when the stalk is withered, you cut it off. You're going to leave it. I keep them indoors until the spring, and then I acclimatize them in the pot for a year, and then you can plant them in the ground.
Absolutely.
They
do fine in Louisiana.
And they do great under live oak trees.
Yes,
they're really
absolutely
brilliant under live oak trees. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. And
yes, because they'll multiply.
I was going to say, eventually they will make offsets, and you can pass those on.
It's one of my favorite gifts for the holidays, and in fact, at an office supply store this week, I saw some for sale, and they were very reasonable. I couldn't believe it. So, pretty easy to find.
They're easy to locate, and a variety of colors. The colors are amazing. They're developing, as in the poinsettias, new varieties all the time. They're getting more and more exotic, and if you're into the unusual. And you have some tools in front of you?
Yes, this is an interesting tool. Actually, it's not mine, but I think I might have to try getting one of these. It's called a Cobra Head Weeder. Nice, sharp little edge here, and a good, it seems very ergonomically made to not put too much pressure on your whole arm as you're trying to weed. It looks like it'll do some of the pulling for you because of the shape. Of course, a good pair of snips are, these are little snips, but you can get some good pruners. That's always appreciated by any gardener.
Yes, because we lose these and break these all the time.
Yeah.
You're always stumbling across a pair in the garden.
I think a good trick for that, these have red handles, but on my ones that are just solid colors, I'll put hot pink duct tape around them. And then that way I usually can find them when I leave them in the grass.
Right, and I've seen people dip one handle in a fluorescent thing, but you still leave them in the,
You still end up
leave them in
outside.
the yard. This is another great gift. This is something that I tripped across on the internet. I wasn't even looking for this. I was looking for something else. It's a battery-powered sprayer.
Oh, that's nice.
I got so tired of the pump, 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 pump. It's got 4D batteries that have lasted a year. It is easy to carry around. It's not too
big,
heavy.
yes.
Right. You can't get them too large. You can't get them too small. And this just hits a happy medium. It's dirty because it's been out in the yard all year. And its brand is Flowmaster. I have not seen them locally, but they are available online. You can adjust as anything. You can adjust the little spray path. It's something that I have used all year long.
A good tip on sprayers while we're showing them this product is it's really a good idea to use different sprayers for different things. For instance, an herbicide sprayer, and then you can have an insecticide sprayer. They can be used for different products that are all insecticide or all herbicide once they've been rinsed out 3 times at a minimum. But it's best not to use one sprayer for all your products because there's always a chance that you could kill something because you didn't clean well enough.
Right. And being master gardeners, there's one thing, we talk amongst ourselves, and people have. Even gardeners that are real methodical about rinsing 3 times and putting their equipment up have killed things if you use the wrong chemical and there's just a little residue in it. So that's an invaluable suggestion. This is another gift that I have treated myself with. It is a little solar-powered, intermittent flashing light that drives away pests, raccoons, possums, skunks. One of the master gardeners gave me this tip too. They're available online. I have not seen them locally.
And they work? This person says this is
Yes,
awesome.
she keeps chickens and says since she has used these, she has not lost a chicken.
Well, then they're working.
Definitely, that's a good, we just had a flock recently wiped out, so of course, after the fact, I closed the barn door and ordered some of these. They're the height of the pest, you follow the directions, you get 4, depending upon the square footage that you're trying to cover. And this master gardener highly recommends them. So if you were bothered by it, also,
well, I will definitely circulate that idea around our neighborhood where we have raccoons.
Oh,
So
surely, we do too.
This is great.
We
Yes,
do too.
this is
It's
great.
even supposed to
I've
be
never
good
seen
for
this
deer.
before.
No, I had not seen that before. The name of it is Night Guard.
And it's online.
And it's online, and the battery lasts 3 years, and it's flashing an intermittent red light that evidently they take for another
Predator or something, and it just disturbs them
It
enough to
just
keep them away.
disturbs them, so, you're not having to deal with traps or any of that.
That's a great,
I know.
and it's pretty safe.
Oh, yeah, and
No
they're
chemicals, no traps,
reasonably
yeah.
priced. So if you have pests in the neighborhood, this is a Christmas gift for them.
That's a great Christmas gift. You have a rake?
I have didn't remember the name of this.
Okay, but I like
But
that
it's a
way.
neat tool because feel it.
Oh, it's light as a feather.
It's
This is
light
great.
as a feather.
But yet very, very strong tine.
Exactly. I think it's actually a hay rake of some type.
Okay.
I bought it at a farm outlet store. And I have loved it because, like you, I have trees, which
Right.
means at this time of year I have lots and lots of leaves to
Leaves.
get into a compost pile. This is so much lighter than a pitchfork.
This is great.
That has saved my back and my shoulders, both. So I unfortunately do not know the name of it, but it's a
But
great
we
tool.
know what it looks like if you can kind of see it from the side, the angle of it. That's what our people can go look for, that particular angle. That's a great tool.
And I've recently tripped across these at a local center.
Oh, yes, the Wonder Grips, those are great.
Okay, but this is a new one that's called Nearly Naked. And they've gotten the top even lighter.
Oh, look at that.
They've had, they're getting them now lighter and lighter and lighter. But the same thing, in our Louisiana summers,
You
when
want a
you're
very
really
light
working
glove.
in the yard, your hands start sweating. This one is absolutely wonderful, and it also was available in a small size, which is great
Hard
for
to
many.
find, right.
Which is great for many women gardeners.
Nice glove.
It's
Very
called
nice.
Wonder Grip.
Very nice. So that's, when you're giving a garden gift, it's really nice to kind of just think a little bit outside the box and try to find a really good product.
And there are many things, we can talk about a few more of our favorite books, but many gardeners would like a greenhouse husbands. You would probably have to get a little specific on that, but the same thing, a gift certificate or just a wonderful card that says, I'll treat you to a greenhouse. Tell me what kind to get. Wind chimes.
Wind chimes.
We haven't.
Bird feeders.
Bird feeders.
Bird baths.
A pond or a fountain, that too, would almost have to be a card or a gift certificate unless you knew which specific one somebody wanted. And you can always donate. Sons particularly, a labor to your mothers.
Yes.
That is greatly appreciated when there is a truckload of compost to unload. You can give a gift certificate, especially you guys in college that don't have a lot of funds but do have a great back. Moms always appreciate the help. Weeding too, 3 hours worth of weeding.
So free labor is a great gift.
It is. A scarecrow is a fun gift for a gardener. Soap. Garden soap, especially the soaps that have the
And
grit
hand creams.
and the hand creams because our hands dry out.
And you know what, Jeanette? How about a manicure?
Oh, that's a good one.
Manicure's a great
That's
idea.
a good one. Potting soil. Good potting soil is expensive. And you burn through it in the spring. So
I don't know if anyone's going to give dirt, but that would be a nice gift.
my children regularly give
you
me
dirt?
dirt. They laugh. We're the only kids that give dirt
To our mother.
for Mother's Day, and I keep saying, bring it on. Much as you can get here, I'll plant.
I'll take.
I will take. Quickly,
Okay.
just a few more books. This is from Texas A&M Press, What Makes Heirloom Plants So Great? And on the heirloom theme, again,
hold that one
that's
for you.
kind of a hot topic right now, heirloom gardening in the South.
Yeah, I think people are really enjoying heirloom
Right.
gardening because they don't have to use as many pesticides or herbicides. These plants are tried and true. They work.
And this is William Welch and Greg Grant, who
Oh,
are
they're
two
the
ag,
best.
two
They're
ag
the
agents,
best,
right?
yeah.
These plants, sort of like us, as we become gardeners of a certain age, we want things that are low maintenance and are going to come back and are not labor intensive.
Well, this is one of my favorite books
I love
too,
that
right
book.
here. This is called The Book of List. It's produced by the Southern, let's see, Taylor Trade Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has something to do with the the Southern Gardeners section, group of people. This is a great book.
It's a great book.
It has lists, if you're looking for a specific area of your house that you want to plant something and a specific plant, they have the list of what you can look for.
Dry plants, wet plants, evergreen plants, deciduous plants, plants for, screens and hedges. The list just goes. It's invaluable.
And it ties in with Southern Living's collection of gardening books. That's what I was trying to think of. Southern Living, which also has the Garden Problem Solver, which is a good book. Just lots and lots of good books, and then the Southern Living Garden Book.
Just be sure when you're purchasing a book for a gardener to get one that's got the name South or Gulf Coast, because we are such a specific region of the country.
That's what you're looking for. You're looking for things that apply to our zoning. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, have a happy new year, a wonderful year. We look forward to bringing you more information in the 2015. And if you have anything you'd like to have a topic discussed on, let us know.